In March of 1997, life changed forever for Jennifer ESTESS. She was diagnosed with a fatal disease that affects thousands of Americans every year and for which there is no treatment and no cure. But that's a fact that neither she nor her sisters are willing to accept. Here is their story.
Josh! Dinosaur!
Yes, it is a dinosaur.
Jennifer ESTESS just wants to hold her nieces and nephews.
Jane, it's your turn, baby. Jane, come on.
Or walk in the sun with her sisters on a pretty New York day. Feel a warm cup of coffee in her hand again. But she can't.
Do you want to hold my hand? Okay, you got to get it. First, you got to grab it.
2 years ago, Jennifer was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a brutal disease that spares no one.
My legs and my arms went out first, and I went from a cane to a walker to a wheelchair. It happened so fast, and now it's in my breathing. And that is the fatal element of ALS. I'm having trouble breathing, a lot of trouble.
Jennifer was a Broadway producer in her mid-30s with boundless energy and tons of friends when ALS struck. She went to her doctor when she noticed twitching in her legs and flu-like exhaustion.
He said, you have motor neuron disease, which is a catchphrase for ALS, which means that your muscles are going to completely be paralyzed within 2 to 5 years, including the muscles that you breathe with.
You know, most people don't know much about this disease except for Gary Cooper in Pride of the Yankees. Gary Cooper played Lou Gehrig, the baseball great who made the world aware of ALS.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
His name became synonymous with the disease, which took his life when he was just 38 years old.
Lou Gehrig was an amazing man and a role model. It affects many, many, many women. It affects young people. And it's devastating because there's nothing that they can give you. There are 30,000 people living right now that are unable to move. And we don't see it. We don't want to look at it. And that's what I think has to change. I think we got to change that.
Jennifer's sisters agreed. Like many families, they were moved to action by the terror of losing someone they love.
We come from a family of fighters. My sisters and I are very close, and along with Julianne Hoffenberg, we were quite literally just sitting around the table one day saying, okay, we have this devastating illness for which there's not one medicine, not one intervention. What can we do?
The sisters and Jennifer's best friend, Julianne Hoffenberg, quit their day jobs, became experts on neuron motor disease, and together formed Project ALS.
It's a nonprofit organization. We have one main mission, one objective, which is to raise money for ALS, to raise awareness for ALS so that we can fund research.
Already sponsors have come on, obviously, for Los Angeles.
With little overhead and extraordinary focus, they have raised more than $3 million in 2 years, which they give directly to the doctors, doing the most promising research on ALS and other brain diseases. Jennifer joins her sisters wherever they are, whenever she can. However hard it has become.
And everybody here, looking right up in the camera if we can.
They organize celebrity golf tournaments and glitzy fundraisers. Event after event, they never stop, working with corporate and celebrity partners who flock to help.
Every time we do one of these things, it seems to get bigger and bigger, and the really exciting thing is just that there's so much progress happening with the research.
She's an old friend, a dear friend, and not only an inspiration but a tremendously courageous one.
The ESTESS sisters have turned doctors into celebrities. Doctors who used to work anonymously, alone in their labs. Doctors whose work the sisters hope will crack the code to ALS and other diseases like Alzheimer's, Huntington's, and Parkinson's, and even find a way to repair spinal cord injuries.
Project ALS will make sure that we apply continued best efforts to perfecting this biology so that people may genuinely benefit. This is a very exciting time for us.
The ESTESS sisters give doctors the resources to do responsible science faster.
For the first time, actually, it's kind of amazing. You're actually getting regrowth of these fibers,
and pushing the doctors as they push themselves, reminding them to hurry, asking them to collaborate in ways they never have before.
Sort of start seeing they've been able to pull together what I consider to be the superstars in science that are doing things relevant to motor neuron disease and spinal cord disease, pull them together, people that I've dreamt of working with, who I idolize in the field of neuroscience, bring them together in a room where together we brainstorm over how to solve this horrible problem.
The solution may well be stem cell replacement, a controversial treatment in which stem cells from human embryonic tissue are transplanted into patients to encourage cell regeneration, an experimental process that could show promising results.
We're starting to learn that neural stem cells can become motor neurons and seem to be able to do that compellingly. That's a breakthrough for us because motor neurons are not usually born at this stage of life. So that's an important breakthrough.
And so these sisters push for more breakthroughs, more time for Jennifer, whose spirit and determination motivates them all.
How frightened, though, are you that you're going to work and work and work and work and it won't be helpful to her? I mean, that must be a fear that you live with on a daily basis.
Try not to think about it that way, though, because then you can't get up in the morning, so you don't think about it that way. You just think about how there's always a possibility there, and you know that what you're doing is going to affect a lot of people's lives.
We are confident that the work we're doing now will pay dividends for millions of Americans suffering from brain disease. There's no question in our minds, and there's no question in Jennifer's mind. So we must keep going. There's no one who sees the world like Jennifer. I've always felt that. She helps me to see things. She's my eyes.
Jennifer sees that for now she can't just stay in her room in New York City, so she goes where she needs to, including to Congress.
As a little girl growing up in America, I had great plans. I dreamed of falling in love, getting married, and raising a family. I dreamed of making a difference.
She sees that her chance to live is small, but her chance to make a difference is enormous, especially with her sisters by her side. Jennifer's clarity is contagious. Even her nieces and nephews understand this horrific disease.
It makes her different, and when you're different, that makes you special.
Jennifer Estes is special. She says she is prepared for whatever comes. And she says what her sisters have taught her is as precious as any treatment or cure will be.
They taught me how to love. They're just like, they're love to me. I don't know a greater love than what I've experienced with them.
It's better than silver and gold.
To contribute, to Project ALS or to get more information on the disease, you can check out our website at today.msnbc.com or call Project ALS at 1-800-603-0270. Hi, Jennifer. We're back in a moment with more of Today right after this.